This is the unboxing of my TriggerCam 2.1. Came in this box. I got it the day after I left for work, so I didn't get a chance to play with it until a few days later. I did notice that the box came from South Africa. It's a nice little package. Reminds me a little bit of Apple and the way they package some of their items. The box itself is nothing special. Aside from having a little magnetic type lid cover, there's really nothing interesting about it. I am more interested in what is inside. It should have everything that I need to go ahead and just get started with recording, with no special adapters, cords, or batteries that I need to obtain. So let's see if we can't take a look, open it up, see what all it comes with, and find out if that's true. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, just do a quick review on what's in here. To start with, it looks like it's the camera itself, all vacuum sealed, nice and tight. Looks like it's one just solid piece. Again, everything on it seems to be in order. There are more items. I could feel them in the box underneath. Let me see if I can get to those. Alright, these are the rings, the little adapter rings that are available for different size scopes. So you slide this over the eyepiece of your scope, slide the camera over that, and then just tighten it down. So that's in there. Looks like it's just the manual. Pretty basic instructions on what to do. I did notice the box also has barcodes for the registration, the manual, and a guide video. So if you don't want to read the book, that's an option as well. I'll probably look at that later on, just not right now. I'm hoping I can just kind of look at all of this. Alright, looks like on the other side you do also have a tool. Looks like a little cloth and the power cable. Just a regular USB Type-C connection. You can use any Type-C. I'm sure that's going to be a little longer than this. This is about just a few inches, maybe like 6 inches or so. This tool reminds me of the Holosun ones that you use for the little red dots. This one, however, feels a little bit thinner, a little bit more flimsy, but I'm sure it's going to work since it came with this item. And you're going to see a few of the first shots. This is my second trip to the range. The first time I went out there, I made a mistake because I didn't read the instruction manual, and also I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have. As I turned on the TriggerCam, it does have a blue light indicating it's to video mode. If you press and hold that button for 2 seconds, every time you do that, it'll toggle between blue for video and green for picture. When you first turn it on, give it a couple of seconds. You hold it down for about 4 seconds or so, but give it a few seconds for it to come up on your Wi-Fi. It will come up with the name TriggerCam so you can connect to it. I was a little too impatient, thinking it hadn't turned on. I pressed the button again for another couple of seconds. Well, I ended up switching it to picture mode. When I got ready to shoot, I hit the record button. Really all it did was take a snapshot of a pole that my scope had been kind of aiming in the direction of at the time, and that's all I got. So several minutes later, I realized I have no video and I'm out of ammo. So that sucked. But it did give me the excuse to go out again today. This time I did things a little bit different. I turned it on, connected. This time I used my phone for the recording because it does have a stop and play button on the actual app. So I aimed, I hit record, gave it a few seconds so I could see the timer going, so I could see that I was recording. Put my phone sideways so it gets full screen, and I could see it recording whatever it is I was aiming at. Then I took a few shots. I did find out when you have it at a closer distance, you can focus on the reticle as well as the target. Both come out clear. And when you adjust the zoom on your scope, it throws it off. You do have to make sure, like this is at 25 yards what I'm shooting. When I zoomed out to 9 times magnification, I lost the focus on my phone. So on the TriggerCam itself, it has 2 little compartment doors. The rear one, the smaller one, when you take that off, it has a wheel that you can use to adjust focus. So you have to be looking at your phone, at least for that moment, adjust the focus, I focused on the target so you could see whatever it is I'm hitting. The reticle on the recording isn't clear, but it doesn't affect what you're viewing through your actual rifle and your scope. So that's positive that it doesn't affect the scope in any way. So I'm seeing exactly what I should be seeing as I'm shooting. It's just the recording where the reticle is a little bit blurry. And again, there might be a way to adjust it where they're both clear. I do need to read the book, which is something I will do today. But it might just be it can focus on one of two things. Like most things that focus, you either want it close or far. I chose the target, and I think it's pretty clear at 25 yards. You can even read like the lettering that's on the actual target itself. I chose the 22 for a couple of reasons. One is the recoil. It's not bouncing around. If I would have tried this on my 30-06 rifle, every shot it'd get blurry most likely and kind of jump out of frame, come back in as I set the rifle back down, which doesn't make for the most fun experience. I've seen other people do that in videos when they do get big game hunting. They're shooting giraffe, goats, deer, not giraffes but camels, and every time they take a shot the camera jumps, so you kind of miss the actual shot. But it's better than nothing. One alternative that I might consider doing with this is if I do go shooting, I will have somebody recording with this rifle, aiming at whatever my target is at the time, and I'll shoot it with a different rifle. That way you can capture the whole thing. It's essentially a magnified camera. An expensive one, granted, but for something like that, I might use that as an alternative. This camera is really good. This is daytime shooting. It is a little cloudy, but not dark, just cloudy. I would not recommend this for dusk or dawn shooting or on a stormy kind of dark day. It's just not going to look good. It doesn't function very well in low lights. It does have an auto dim feature or auto adjust feature that it has on the app. I've tried it both ways. The difference was so minimal. I left it on just because it made a very, very small difference. Not enough that you're going to love the quality, but enough that something's better than nothing was the way I took it. So there are improvements that can be made on this device, hopefully maybe through software. In the future they'll be able to adjust things, because really the camera's taking in what it's taking in. It's the app that's doing everything else. So I'm hoping that they do improve on this. For now I'm going to keep it. I think it's fun. I have it for plinking. So every time you adjust the focus on the scope, of course, adjust the focus on the camera using that little control wheel. And for me, it's not an issue. I'm stationary, my targets are stationary. And if I do go out and do some plinking, I pretty much shoot roughly at the same range. So whether I'm shooting, I don't know, a rabbit, whatever vermin's out there, it's typically at about 15 to 25 yards anyway. So for me, it'll work out if I do use it for something like that. But primarily it's just going to be just for plinking. Once I get a place where I can shoot, put some cans out there, maybe some water bottles, have some fun with it, and be able to record. So it's a pretty expensive camera for, I think, for what it is, but it is one of very few that do this. So I kind of have to give it that. But it's over $600, which is a significant amount for pretty much anyone. Even if you have the money for it, doesn't mean it's not a good amount of money. So the whole thing on says, now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. I don't know why it's got that kind of religious quote. It says Hebrew 11:1 on the TriggerCam box. I think it's a little weird, but this is a pretty cool setup. I've seen other people use it. Again, I don't see too many others out there, so I'm gonna take it and just be happy with it. Again, I will read the booklet tonight. It'll show a little bit more, and then we'll take it from there. Hopefully you'll see more videos of me shooting with this on different caliber rifles as well. See what it can handle, see up to what calibers, if any of them negatively impact the camera, aside from obviously the stability during the initial shot. But we'll see. Hopefully it'll work out and I can have this last me a good little while, especially for the price and what I want to do with it. I really do hope it can take the punishment of the other rifles I plan to put this on.